What do we do if this ground is broken and there's something in my way, a little bit of grass, and let's suppose the fringe starts a little bit closer to the flag? Well, the answer is we change putters. So I've got a bag full of clubs. I have 9 or 10 ping irons in my bag. So if I take the 9 ping irons and add it to the putter, I've actually got 10 putters in the bag. So I have to convert my 6-iron into a putter. I pull the club up my sleeve, I walk in to make up the difference. My feet are parallel and my posture is still crisp. If I showed you full-scale 6-iron posture, I narrow my stance, I pull the club up my sleeve and then I walk in. Don't think, because these are small shots, that you sit down and get soft and sloppy. Your posture is as important in the short game as it is in the long game. And when you do it well, it's really quite tiring on the lower back. So, I've now set up, the leading edge of the club is between my feet, I have a square stance. I'm always going to employ a square stance when I want the ball to release. Now, I gave the 2 golden rules: keep the ball low, don't take a divot. I'm being quite serious. I've now got a 6-iron in my hand. I'm going to putt with the 6-iron. You can see that the ball hopped into the air, went down to the hole, and it was really quite easy for me to judge the distance because I wasn't putting through the fringe. As I said before, the flag is 33 1/3 yards away from this point, and in 33 1/3 yards is 100 feet, so I can say there's 100%. So when I hit the putter initially, the ball rolled 100% of its journey. When I then engage loft, in this case of the 6-iron, I get a proportion of that shot becomes carry before it rolls. So here we go. Hopefully getting the pace of the shot right and the ball running down to the hole. So to help visualize the amount of carry and roll, I've just placed a white marker stick on the ground. All I have to worry about is the pace of the shot. So you can see that the ball flew over the white stick and ran down to the hole. And if that's 33 yards, basically that's 8 pace, that's about a quarter. So what we discovered, in this range, the 6-iron is giving me probably 25–30% of carry before it rolls. Now, I know lots of golfers, particularly youngsters, tend to take out the lob wedge and try and get a lob wedge to fly and to stop. Well, there's no need. You're just taking a risk. If you throw the ball that far and that powerfully and get it wrong, it's very dangerous. But by taking the straighter face club as your option, you've got a greater percentage or margin for error. Okay, so just have a look at that one more time. Blade between the feet. I focus on the correct pace of the shot. The ball takes off and runs down to the hole. So let's suppose that this grass goes further up, there may be a small bunker or something, there's an obstruction in the way. And if I take my 6-iron, the ball is going to fly too far. So I'm going to move and put a separate stick over the last one. So having placed this second marker stick down, if I made my 6-iron fly to land beyond it, the ball's travelling far too quickly, it'll never stop, and it'll go scuttling into the ferns and bracken and pine trees behind the green. So I have to change clubs. And now I'm going to take my wedge, or my pitching wedge. Now, just because it's called a pitching wedge doesn't mean I'm obliged to pitch. I can do, of course, but I'm actually going to play a lofted chip. Okay? Now, we start to come into a little bit of problems now, because when we had a putter face and a straight face 6-iron, or relatively little loft in the 6-iron, we basically had no trouble taking a divot. As we add loft to the club, we're more prone to catching the ground. So you're looking for a blade and ball contact at all times. Almost imagine that you're chipping off concrete or tarmac or hard pan, and if you can gather the ball sweetly, it will fly and stop. Don't believe that you have to have a divot to hit a ball high. So here we go. I pull the club at sleeve a little bit, the club's quite short. The blade's between my feet, The two golden rules: send the ball low, don't take a divot. So you can see that the technique remained the same from the putter to the 6-iron and to the wedge. I just had to convince myself in my subconscious mind that my only job was to send the ball forward. The moment I get involved in trying to lift the ball or make it stop, then I'm in jeopardy of thinning it or hitting it fat. You don't take divots when you putt. So why would you ever want to take divots when you chip? That's what you've got to remember. And if you get a really sweet blade and ball contact, again, your judgment of distance is going to be even better. If you catch a couple of blades of grass or a little bit thin or sweet all the time, again, the computer in your brain gets confused. But if you've got blade and ball contact all the time, you've got precision. And with that precision, it's an enhanced sense of feel. Can you see? We've just kept in putting mode. And the only thing I'm worrying about is sending the ball forward the right distance.